Yo, episode 229. Before we say RIP Young Dolph, make sure you go to YouTube and go to We Made It C's and watch all them videos. Well, all the Vita videos, not his old stream videos. Subscribe, like the Vita videos, and subscribe. He's very close to 100.
And click on the bell for notifications.
Get the notifications, you know what I'm saying? There's few and far between, but you know what I'm saying, when they come out like 2 months, you know what I'm saying, you need that notification.
Hey, it's a 20-minute episode. You boy, my wrist hurt from editing.
You feel me? There's a lot of walking in there, you know what I'm saying? That's how I watched.
Yeah, that's when you watch the beginning and you skip to the end.
I didn't skip all the way to the end, but I did hit the
if you didn't skip the video, I think there's a problem for you. You're a habitual skipper. You're a 15-second presser.
I hit the
pressing that right arrow.
I hit the 5 second a few times.
Like, well, all you heard was RuPaul and you got excited.
Oh no. Episode 229. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. He died today.
Rest in peace, Young Dolph.
Today is November 17th, 2021, and we just found out a little bit ago that he was shot and killed in Memphis. Was never really a huge fan of Dolph because he had one of the worst verses ever on Time by Young Scooter. I was like, this verse is really bad.
I don't hate him. I thought he was pretty cool.
I never really was like checking for him like himself, but if he ended up on somebody's song, I'll listen. But then I was really mad about that verse on Time by Scooter because that song's good, but it's like you come in the second verse and you're just talking off beat. But he didn't.
That was the style though.
He didn't deserve to die because of that. But he was beefing with Soulja Boy a few days ago.
And we all know whose side you took here on the show.
Oh, well, so what?
You always take Soulja Boy's side, dog. You're a big Soulja Boy. You're a soldier boy.
Well, also, Young Dolph's real government first name is Adolf. So
I don't know. Okay, let me just slow it down here. Let me No, listen. Because you're doing this at a dangerous portion of the show where people are somehow still listening.
Yeah, because
all respect to Young Dolph.
General
R.I.P. It's a sad loss to him and his family. I don't care about his name or his verses on Time right now. R.I.P. to Young Dolph. A tragic loss in the hip hop community.
I'm just saying. I'm just letting it be known.
I'll say this. If anything, he was quite blessed based on before. I remember a few times he had like his car shot up 9 times or some crazy stories.
Car got shot up like 60 times.
Yeah. Dog. So, I mean, oh my goodness. Like you want to talk about like 9 lives. That's crazy. You don't hear about that often. So unfortunate to see him pass though.
Yeah, that sucks because he's a young dude and he was doing this thing in rap. He has signed Key Glock.
And I like his name.
Oh, you like the name Adolf?
I just like. No, I like that his name was Young Dolphin.
But before we get into the show,
his name was Young Adolf.
Before we get into the show, there was a really cool movie, a German movie that I watched called A is for Adolf, and it was really good. It was like a comedy, kind of like a dark comedy. It was really good. But anyway, episode 229, We Made a Podcast. Make sure you go to We Made It C's on YouTube. We got a little bit to talk about today. We're going to talk about the teams that have qualified for the World Cup so far, which will be held in the formerly known as Qatar next year around this time.
The Equator.
Yeah. And then we're going to talk. I had a bit of a run-in with somebody named General Burke on Twitter, talking about Qatar's human rights record. And we had a bit of a back and forth. And I feel like it's something that we should talk about on the show. And hopefully he's listening, but I doubt it.
Yeah, probably is. A hater be listening.
Yeah. But Caesar, so far in the World Cup qualifiers, we have secured spots, of course, Qatar being the host, which a lot of people are mad about. A lot of them are the same color as my shirt. We got Belgium, Croatia, Denmark, England, France, Germany, Netherlands, Serbia, Spain, Switzerland.
Boo. Okay.
Switzerland, Brazil, and Argentina. They are all qualified currently. I don't know if it's like all these European teams because something to do with like their qualifiers. Because I'm like, damn,
they're all getting clapped up.
Yeah, maybe.
All the allegedly good European teams are getting decimated by Eastern European squads.
Well, we have some playoffs too. I don't really know how that works. I'm not even gonna get into it.
I think that's what happens. You have like 45 teams in there.
I guess the qualifying from Asia is gonna resume in January.
Hmm.
I
Yep.
And in Africa, they have in March, they're gonna figure theirs out. Caesar, out of these teams that I just mentioned, although that was a lot, I'm kind of feeling the Netherlands on the low this year. I'm kind of feeling them, dog. Memphis Depay is putting in work. If he's healthy next season, I kind of feel like the Netherlands might mess around.
I'm gonna tell you something right now, Doc. I'm gonna keep it
No,
real with you.
I'm tripping.
As long as you live, I don't think Netherlands is gonna win a World Cup.
Okay, if I'm not gonna,
They're like Croatia. They're the habitual swan song. Like it's cute. They get to the dance, but it never gets. It's never finalized for them. Now, I think they can do it if that Mullen dude turns into be a baller. That striker they have that plays for BB. That's it. They need somebody.
I want to say something about him, but I'm not gonna do it. But
come on, man, what's wrong with you?
Okay, if it's not gonna be the Netherlands, it's definitely not gonna be Belgium. It's not gonna be Brazil. I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't even know what. I like how you're feeling the Netherlands, but it's not going to be Brazil, even though Brazil finished first. Okay, buddy.
No,
okay,
they finished first last time in qualifiers.
That's 4 years ago, you buffoon.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
all right.
Yeah,
when Brazil wins,
place.
I want you to eat ass. That's what I want you to
fourth place.
Oh man, wow, you woo, terrible.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Did they lose to Argentina last night?
Hey, I have a question.
Nah, did they lose?
Why don't you say on this show how did Uruguay do? Tell me.
Caesar, Cavani's
that's right.
Caesar, you act like right. I care about Cavani.
That's right.
I'm gonna have Cavani.
And I know your fandom is convenient for you to be able to jump back and forth when someone claps at you. Yeah. But hey, Caesar, you're gonna be watching the World Cup right with us, like this. All here's Luis Suarez in his white hoodie, and here's Cavani with all his servants behind him. It'll be a good time watching a World Cup together. Caesar, I'm not a real fan of anybody. That's why you can't. That's why you're whack, but that's not the point here. We're not addressing you as a person. You don't get to be some ambiguous nomad drifter. No, you don't, dog. It doesn't work like that. Okay, I like players. Now, I was gonna say, if the Netherlands don't do it, it'll be France if Guendouzi starts. You know what I'm saying? It'll be Guendouzi leading France. No cap. You better work. Yeah, man. No cap, dog. If Spain, I'm not gonna lie, I watched one U21 France game. They have the most insane squad ever already next up. Okay, when Guendouzi got called up for the senior team this time and he played, but when I used to see him playing for U21s, he was ridiculous. Yeah. I'm like, that's not even fair. Yeah, that U21 team had like freaking Cherky and Kamavinga. I'm like, that's cheating. Like, these guys are top players at their clubs already. That's not fair. Can U21s is usually not gonna lie the bums, but this is like kind of ridiculous. Can I say something that is gonna bother you? You think Cherky's kind of whack? Can I just say something that's gonna bother you? Good. I got my eye on Kamavinga, dog. I know. I want to be wrong, though. I want to be wrong. I do really want to be wrong. I don't want to be right like with Jadon Sancho. I want to be wrong, though. But I'm looking at that left foot. It is kind of bothering me sometimes. It's just crazy how this man can't hold back. Like, literally, he's been fighting for so long to want to not talk shit about that left foot. He's like, it's 2 weeks in a row complimenting him, and it's bothering me because he's left-footed. And then you just had to do it.
I mean, I'm not.
I just wish even my favorite lefties like Marcelo, you couldn't hold back that hate sometimes. It just comes out of you,
No,
dog.
no, no.
Yes, Bam. Yes, yes. You'd make fun of his defending. Yes, dog.
No, no.
And I know the root of it was him being lefty.
No,
It's
no,
okay
no.
to admit it, dog.
No, no, no. I don't mind a left-footed left back. I don't mind. I never minded Marcelo. Also, I've seen Marcelo do some crazy right-footed
And
passes,
shots. He has a
and
crazy right foot
shots.
goal.
Yes, I've seen it a few times and passes. Or like Jordi Alba, like that's fine. Although I would prefer a right-footed left back if it was my team.
Yeah, if it was.
But I just got my eye on Camavinga. I still like him, but you know what I mean? I'm looking at that left foot a little bit. But anyway, Netherlands or France right now. And yeah, Uruguay probably will make it, dude. They have the best striker of all time. He's hurt. And what are they gonna do? You know what I mean? But since this is gonna be the shortest episode ever, let me write this down. Let me transition. Obviously, the World Cup next year is going to be played in the fall next year in the small peninsula nation of Qatar. There was a lot of backlash when Qatar got the World Cup. We're not going to rehash that. But there's been this narrative. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Was that last week about the Josh Cavallo guy from the dude from Australia who's gay, and he was like
Perth Glory? Who does he play for?
I'm not sure. But
Melbourne, I think.
That was a nice drop though. You just wanted to show you know what I'm saying. But he was saying that he was scared to play there because of some of their anti-LGBTQ laws. And you know, I was kind of like you'll be fine on me. Like, don't worry about it, doggy. But I'm seeing this narrative. And this whole back and forth with General Burke on Twitter came from you tagging me, actually. Well, tagging We Made It podcast Twitter, but
about the host is showing you this post.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me go back and see what that was actually, because I kind of forgot. But I want to see what that initial post was. Okay, so this person, Nick Harris, said, nearly forgot to post this regular reminder. England have qualified for a World Cup where the host nation was chosen by the most corrupt electorate in global sport. It was a scandal or remains a scandal. FIFA know this. They don't give a shit. Okay, so whatever. Like we're talking about, you know, the corruption of FIFA. Like that's cute. Like that's old, you know, like whatever. Let's keep it a stack. You know, everybody wanted to talk about, you know, Sepp Blatter and how terrible he was, but did anybody want to talk about Hope Solo's allegations about him except for us? But it's funny because I don't know why in the world I responded about Qatar's human rights record. I guess okay. This is also what Nick Harris said. The best time to remind people that human rights abusing plutocratic, autocratic regimes and individuals are using football as a tool, blah, 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 blah. At times like this, Chelsea, PSG, China, Man City, Newcastle United, Qatar, whoever. And then, so for me, it's like when you start to get into that territory, like, is this guy British? I think he is. I feel like you're doing too much now. Like you're not gonna sit here and tell me that like okay, if we're talking about wealthy like Arab nations with money are like buying English teams or like, you know, PSG or French teams, why is it bad that they get in on the party? Don't you know what England did in the Middle East and stuff? They can't join in on the party. You think that the English Premier League wouldn't be corrupt or bad? It'd be perfect unless these guys were there. You know, there was no like gang wars in the streets before, right? There was whole gang wars in the streets in England, and it was all English people pretty much in charge. You know, we got a few Arabs in here and this guy from Russia, and now it's so corrupt now. But as I tend to do, I did a little research. Not even research, really. But, me and General Burke were going back and forth, and he's talking about human rights. And he's assuming that I don't know the definition of human rights, which I do. Human rights, this is a right that is believed to belong justifiably to every person. Human rights are moral principles or norms for certain standards of human behavior regularly protected in municipal or international law. Okay, dude. So you're mad about like the worker situation in Qatar, but like you're not mad about the worker situations like all over the world. How about in America?
Yeah.
Caesar. They're talking about, they have the death penalty for gay people in Qatar, and they have, oh my God. Caesar, I want you to take a guess in the last 20 years, how many, I don't know how many people in the last 20 years America has executed, but I would probably say like 1,000 or more in the last 20 years.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
like
especially like during the rise of the electric chair stuff and all that. That was going crazy too.
Well, in the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So since like 2000.
Okay.
I mean, at least America. I mean, I guess I could look that up, but Caesar got on. You see, when Caesar cocked that head over, it's good. Boy, he ain't even looking at the keyboard.
Oof. Okay.
How many?
From 2000 to 2020.
How many?
There was an average of. They're giving me the graph per year.
Okay.
The most was in 2000. They had 85.
Okay.
And the lowest was last year, 17. So.
So we're talking about at least like 500.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. So like the most 85, the least 17. So
let's just say like 500 people have been executed by the state of in America since 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Take a guess how many people Qatar, and they do have the death penalty. How many people Qatar has executed in the last 20 years? Take a guess.
How many people Qatar has executed?
Yes, in the last 20
straight
years.
executions.
Yes, the death penalty. They got the death penalty and they were killed.
I don't really know much about Qatar. I'd say.
Well, just take a guess. Yes.
I'd say 200.
Okay, well, Caesar, that's wrong. They executed one person in the last 20 years.
No, they didn't.
One person.
And one person's been put to the death penalty.
One person, and it was this year, and it was someone who committed murder. It was this year. And before that, they had not executed anybody in the last 20 years. Human rights, granted, okay, this person, I think General Burke is British, so he's not comparing to America. But guess what? The next World Cup 2026 is going to be America, Mexico, Canada. And I would imagine America is going to get the bulk of those games.
Is America going to get the backlash that Qatar gets for hosting?
I highly doubt it.
Are they going to go, why would we send players of different origins to a place that has continuous Asian hate, black hate, and all kind of issues going on with the community?
Caesar, did you know that Russia doesn't even have the death penalty? Russia doesn't even have the death penalty.
Honestly, I don't believe you. That's
Caesar,
insane.
Russia doesn't. I don't think if I'm not mistaken, I saw that Russia hasn't executed somebody since like the 60s. Hold on. No. Russia hasn't had Russia hasn't had an execution since 1996. And that was when they were in a full-blown war with Chechnya. So Caesar, yeah, 1996 was the last death penalty in Russia. In Russia, the death penalty, they say it's abolished in practice.
Bam. I can actually add on to this to you better. I actually have a crazy thing to tell you. Give me the number of countries that I believe government, it's 235 countries in the world, right?
Something like that. Change every day.
How many do you think have the death penalty as their state law?
I want to say at least 50.
That's crazy high, my man.
Oh, I feel like okay, 30.
You're way too high, big dog.
Oh, come on. Okay, what is it? What is it?
14 countries have legalized
Death penalty.
And I'll give you this list. And
okay, Caesar, hold on.
And it's a really quick note.
Okay, I don't think any country in Latin America has a death penalty. Am I right?
Absolutely not. No, actually, majority of them seem to be Asia, like have death penalty.
Yeah.
And I'll show you them right now. It's United States, which is the only place in North and South America.
In the whole Western Hemisphere.
The whole Western Hemisphere, only United States does death penalty.
Okay.
Taiwan, Sri Lanka, South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Nigeria, Japan, Iran, Indonesia, India, Egypt, China, and Bangladesh.
Okay. And probably some of those like
where's Qatar, man?
So what?
Where's Qatar?
Yeah, I mean they don't because they don't do it. Okay. What are we okay? So we got one country in the whole Western Hemisphere that has a death penalty. This is human rights, people.
And out of all these countries, only United States makes their death penalties public information, like public access. China does it like confidential and private.
Saudi Arabia, you can watch them.
You can watch them too.
Oh yeah,
really? That's really dirty, dog.
When I was there.
Okay.
All right, no, hold on. When I was there, one of my friends was like, it was Friday. I was like, what you about to go do? He's like, they will go watch the executions, and I was like, God damn.
No, they said we off YouTube now.
Yeah, but
well, then I made a mistake. My fault.
What's the name? Human rights is like not just like what you want it to be when you feel like it. When somebody's talking about when somebody talks about human rights, when that guy, when he was talking about that, I'm like, yo, dog, like, I don't think in Qatar the police shoot 12-year-olds.
Oh,
like, I don't think that happens. I don't think in Qatar, like, if the police come and like run up on you and you like have your cell phone, they just shoot you. Like, yeah, like, come on, dude. Like, I think like we probably have more police killings in America than Qatar has murders in the last like 30 years.
And you're still being nice. You're still being nice. You're not even talking about how much of an impact globally one country compared to the other has. You can't even attest to that. Ask how many countries does Qatar have active army bases located within there. Ask how many countries Qatar has actually had significant influence, violence, and like regional impact in comparison to the United States. United States, especially if we're talking about us, and just because he's in England doesn't mean he's let off. England knows what they've done. Don't even play games. Like y'all were actually the originators of it all. Y'all really got it cracking. But so we only learned from you. Thank you. So I'm just not playing this game where just because a country's in the Middle East, and let me tell you something right now. Like Bam is obviously more informed than me. But I'm not even as one, but I don't go online and make blatant statements about things I don't know about countries, because when you make a statement like that or make these, you're creating racist fallacies. That's not real. Like, that's not real. Like, I wouldn't say that. What we're supposed to say? Oh, like that's like saying something crazy about like any other race. What if people were saying like, oh, well, I don't want to go to England because everybody over there is inbred. Like, I can't do that. That's a horrible thing to say because it's not true. Unless you're Tory. So it's not true. So like, I just wouldn't like, you don't make statements like that about countries. I think it's not fair. You still don't, honestly. Germany had the World Cup. Are they holding up Germany for what happened back in the day with Hitler? Are they holding up Germany to that when they hosted the World Cup? They're not doing the same kind of energy. Like,
it's literally like, there's workers that are dying and they're getting treated poorly. I'm not disputing that.
No.
But at the same time, it's like, don't sit there and act like this country's worse than America.
Bam,
or worse than like,
bam.
Like you're not like, we're not going to do that.
If we're going to sit here and talk about the horrific conditions and workers have gone through in the last 3 World Cups, I absolutely agree with that. But include this country as well. Include these don't even play games like America has not been. America has done this an active process for years. We still have immigrants in this country that can't get rights. There's still people that are severely underpaid. Don't play this game around here. They're not acting as if, oh, here's Qatar doing what no one else is doing in the world. We got to hold other countries, especially your own countries, accountable. It's not about just attacking them because it's convenient.
Caesar, we're talking about human rights. Like, I'm gonna go through the past World Cup hosts, and we're gonna talk about human rights. Like, when you think about human rights,
I forgot that human rights was what the sign up sheet was for when you go to the FIFA to get a World Cup. They go, what's your human rights grade?
Right. Yeah, and also, like, I'm not gonna act like this guy just like, oh, my idea of human rights just goes from like the last 2 years.
Well, you can't even say that. You can't even say that because in all his responses, he never clarifies anything. He just does like, I can't believe it. He drops one amnesty.org damn article. Like you done nothing to contest your point.
That thing says 2020. Human rights didn't start in 2020, homie.
He's dropping what happened last year.
Yeah, like what?
Like, oh yeah, you conveniently got a stat from last year.
What happened here last year? We got a whole cop killing a dude on camera and like laughing about it. Caesar, Russia, human rights, Qatar's beating them. Brazil, human rights, Qatar's beating Brazil. South Africa, human rights, Qatar's beating them.
That's kind of a massive bill, actually.
Germany, human rights.
Come on, dog. That.
How far you want to go back? I mean, look.
If we're talking about recent change, of course.
Okay, not. Yeah, for sure.
But if we're talking about just historically,
yeah, pretty bad.
I'm gonna say if we're historically, them numbers kind of crazy skewed, big dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Human rights, Japan, South Korea. Japan, once again, depends how far you want to go back.
Hey, what about the animals though? What about them? What about the fish? Japan be wilding out on the whales though. But go ahead.
So stupid. I didn't know what animal you usually say there. France, human rights, 1994, United States, human rights, pretty bad. Italy, whatever. They were hurting each other. Like, but at the same time, it's just like, come on, dude. Like, if you just want to point out the negative, like, like, if you just want to point out the negative, okay. But I highly doubt this person is going to have that same energy when it comes to the 2026 World Cup, which is going to be Canada, Mexico, United States. Caesar, I think it's already.
I would love for him to even know what the definition of human rights means.
He's talking about the workers, and I'm like, dog, you don't even know. Like, okay, I'm familiar with the Middle East, and I know like these Desi people come to these countries and they are slaves, basically. I know that, but at the same time, like, that doesn't absolve other countries for what they do and what they've done. Like, it does not absolve them. I can't sit here and say Qatar's human rights record is worse when I still remember the war in Iraq. I still remember Afghanistan. That has to do with human rights. Just because it isn't domestically, what have those foreign wars done to improve the human rights situation in America? It's negative. Now we got the people come back from the military storming the Capitol.
Look, man, I mean, I never thought that I living in this country there'd ever be any kind of discussion on who wants to have a battle on who has more human rights. I thought we were the kingpins out here.
Caesar,
this is a kingpin country of that. Even in a lot of those European countries are as well, especially if you, like Bam said earlier, if we want to talk about how far we're going to go back. The Middle East game is convenient to play.
Yes.
It's a convenient card to do because what racist people like to do is lump every single Middle Eastern country with each other. But if you go to Middle East or meet anybody that's Middle Eastern, there's massive differences in between some of those people. They have massively different cultures, different backgrounds, and different lives they've experienced. You're not going to sit here and compare the life of someone who's Lebanese and someone who's from Qatar. It's two different entire planets. So this kind of racist ideology is like, well, that kind of stuff is really what, like, drives division and makes a sport really difficult to watch sometimes. I hate hearing these kind of narratives being put in the media, like public media too.
These are okay.
Public articles on major websites.
If Qatar is so bad, why does America have their largest military base in the region there? If it's so bad,
ma'am, I've known tons of people that have gotten stationed there.
They all went there.
They don't what they'd be like dying over there. No, they're chilling.
They go have a good time.
Yeah, Qatar is a good one.
Caesar, like I said yesterday, oftentimes people's historical knowledge is not that well informed, nor do they want to go back that far. But for me, when we're talking about human rights domestically, even we still in this country right here, the United States of America, still have one of the biggest crimes in the world. Well, I mean, whatever, it's gone on many places in the world. The indigenous people of this land, their land was stolen and they were put on reservations. Many of them are still there suffering. That's a human rights violation. And this country don't have no damn idea about rectifying that situation. No, but this fool was going to act like, oh, well, these workers came there and they get treated bad, kind of. So, that's how could you ever give a World Cup to them? Who the hell we're going to give the World Cup to then? Who is the country where it's like,
and another point, it's like, why does he get to be the great naysayer and who deserves this World Cup? Don't call this a world game then.
Yeah.
Don't call this a world game. You're going to blame the future children for people who want to go experience this moment or this sport that, it's a part of their lives because of what the behaviors of the country in the past or however, or misconceptions of behaviors of a country. I think that's really grimy. I think that's a horrible mindset. I never had a problem. I mean, on the show, we had a debate years ago about where should the World Cups be hosted and what's going on. And I specifically said, I remember arguing on our debate episode about opening up to more countries and this and a lot more, because this is truly a world game. I go and find it outstanding. There's 5 divisions of professional leagues in India. Like, that's outstanding to me. That's cool to me. These countries should not be held to standards by one of the most corrupt organizations in the world, FIFA. Why are we gonna pretend like FIFA, the home base of them, is gonna be judging who's been human rights, have been more lenient towards human rights? Get out of here. No way. Like, corruption's top to the board, so keep that energy consistent for everybody.
Caesar,
it's capitalism no matter what you do, man. Just let it go.
Caesar, if we're going to bring politics and stuff into
literally,
remember in 1973, the Soviet Union was going to play against Chile. After the coup in Chile, where Salvador Allende, the freedom fighter, was ousted, the Soviet Union was like, if we're like, they were holding people in their stadium, in their like national stadium. That's where they were holding all those people and torturing them. The Soviet Union's like, we're not going to play. So Chile just automatically qualified. The Soviet Union, they made it political. Somebody can say like, that's dope, or somebody can say like, you should just leave that stuff out of it because everybody's kind of guilty when we're talking about countries.
Yeah.
So like, if like, based on this guy's logic, is just like, where on earth are we supposed to play the World Cup? Like, some of these countries seem cute. Like, oh, like, yeah, we could go to Australia, but like, what about Australia's crimes? Oh, we could go to this place, or what about their crimes? They're all guilty. So you got to play the shit somewhere. What are you going to go to San Marino? I'm sure there's some people that are aggrieved there too.
You got to just buy an island and build a stadium there and pray that no rich people go there and abuse the rights there also.
Caesar, you're going to buy the island and what's going to happen?
What's going to happen? They're gonna be like, well, they use indigenous people to build it. It's always a problem.
Or you're like, there was some like native bird that like now it's got to leave. There's gonna be
or these rich monsters are gonna go over there and exploit that as well too. Like, this is humans, dog.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if Qatar is bad, okay, but like where isn't bad? Where are we supposed to play? You know what I mean? Like, And don't sit there and act like they're so like, oh my God, like this place is so bad. Like what? What? Like really? Qatar is not causing friction throughout the. He mentioned too. He said, "Oh, Qatar sponsored terrorism." I'm like, are you kidding me? Literally, Caesar, literally the guy that blew up that Ariana Grande concert, his dad was like allied with England. Like they were part of a group that was being funded by England to fight in Libya, to destabilize Libya. You don't even know what sponsoring terrorism means, sir. You don't even know. They sponsored terrorism. Caesar, it was a lot for me to be like, okay, tell me who did they sponsor?
Drop some names.
Yeah, who did they sponsor, dude? ISIS? Well, Trump said that Obama started ISIS, dude. So what are we doing?
Who are we riding with, then, damn it?
Yeah, but anyway, it's just unfortunate that excuse me, that there's a lot of people that, you know, can't see past, you know, narratives that are rooted in racism, and then also rooted in like Western exceptionalism, like, oh, you know, we're not like that, like we don't have those laws, so that's why we're better. But like, it's like also like, where do you think those like anti-gay laws came from and stuff? Like, yeah, England used to have, Jamaica was a colony of England for forever. They still got some of them colonial laws that are like anti-gay. Yeah, maybe they're in England, they don't have it no more, but their influence went worldwide.
Mr. Worldwide.
But yeah, stupid. You're done. But yeah, anyway, we'll be watching that World Cup in Qatar, and hopefully we'll be over there hanging out, watching.
I'll be down. I'm down. Let's go. Let's pull up.
You know what I mean? I'll be very down. You know what I'm saying?
I'll rock the same mustache over there too. Let's go.
Rock some thobes.
No, you know I'm finna get a thobe out there. I'm gonna ask the producer if I can go on air with the thobe on.
Oh, I'm with it. You know I'm with it.
I'll get them sandals with it, like I hook my big toe on. I'm down. With the big toe extendo on it.
Okay, Caesar, last thing. Benjamin Mendy is going to court. I think he went to court today, and then he's going to go to court again tomorrow. He got charged with 2 more rapes. Him and his Cody, some 40-year-old French dude. Is looking bad for Benjamin Mendy. Although, you know what? Let me try to see if I can find something about Gylfi Sigurdsson real fast. Because
they might just. Do you think he's gonna get charged concurrently for the charges?
Who? Mendy? Oh, I mean, if he's found guilty, he's gonna. It seems like he's gonna.
He's rich though.
I mean,
I'm just saying. I'm not saying as if like I don't think he should do it. I think he's rich. I'm probably the lawyers gonna figure something out. I mean, you always think with these rape cases is gonna be like the lay of the law, and it always ends up being like, oh,
he's got 6 counts of rape.
What is he? 30?
Something like that. He's got like 6 counts of rape, and then like 1 of sexual assault.
What a monster!
I almost put on Twitter, is he the Darren Sharper of international football? But I was like, you know,
unfortunately, sadly, no. That guy's even worse than him. That was a real destroyer of humankind.
Yeah, I was like, let me not even play with that. Oh, he's 27. But yeah, he's got a few more. He's got a few more counts, and it's looking bad for him. I mean, if he's guilty, hopefully he do a lot of time. Hopefully, it's more than like 4 years or something like that. But it's gonna be crazy, like, you know, a footballer that's, you know, in his prime, basically, although he was injured all the time, getting locked up in a foreign country too. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it almost feels like almost what happened with the Rubinho case, because it sounds so similar to Rubinho almost, except it was just not as many people involved.
Also, Rubinho was in Italy, dude.
No comment. I'm not
human rights.
I know, but I'm not gonna do Italian shaming on this podcast. But yeah, dog. That's a deeply disturbing story. I don't necessarily had. I mean, I don't really have like any like affection towards a player as a player either. But it's like as a person, like that's the most disgusting thing I ever could imagine. And I just I feel more for those families because no matter how much time he has, that's 6 to 7 lives that he's affected forever. And
Yeah.
that's something that it's not like they're gone. They're still alive and they have to live with that to the day they die. And that's just horrible. I just wish the best rehabilitation for them possible so they can get back and everything be okay.
100%. And
Sick monster.
yeah, I mean it's crazy. And also Gilfie Sigurdsson, I'm still on your ass, homie. They're not releasing very much about him. It's very hard to find any information. But
is he the one that's Icelandic?
Yes. And his allegations involve a child, a minor, or or two, who knows. But we looking for you, homie. But yeah,
my investigation team.
oh yeah, I will not be calling 12, but because I'm not the baby.
No, we're private investigators. We're not state sponsored.
Yeah, I don't be calling the cops like the baby.
No, we're not. We don't get emails from the DA. No. Ooh. We're PI, dog.
But yeah, once again, rest in peace, young Dolph. Do your time, do your crime, time.
Rest in peace, young Dolph.
Rest and make sure if you're here, did you just play something? What the hell? Did you try to play the song? If you're still here, make sure you go on YouTube and follow We Made It C's. And I'm excited to see whatever C's are going to play me as soon as I stop this recording. I'm going to name this episode Human Rights Question. But yeah, holla.
I'm just going to do the episode now. It should be up on YouTube today.
Okay.
I'm just going to do it right now. All right, yo.
Holler, We Made a Podcast episode 229.